भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। रीडिंग भगवद गीता, चैप्टर नंबर 1, टेक्स्ट नंबर 9। अन्यचा भवः सूरा मदर्ते त्यक्तजीविता नानाशास्त्रप्रहाराणा सर्वे युद्धाविशारदः। Translation purport given by His Divine Grace Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. There are many other heroes who are equipped to lay down their lives for my sake. All of them are well equipped with different kinds of weapons, and all are experienced in military science. Purport. As far as the others are concerned, like Jayadratha, Kritavarma, and Salya, all are determined to lay down their lives for Duryodhana's sake. In other words, it is already concluded that all of them would die in the battle of Kurukshetra for joining the party of the sinful Duryodhana. Duryodhana was, of course, confident of his victory on account of the above mentioned combined strength of his friends. मम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकधामयं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वञ्चाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा शिवसदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगं लंगायते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरु दीनतारिणम्। हरे कृष्ण। When I was reading this translation purport, Srila Prabhupada so mercifully giving us an opportunity to be absorbed more and more in the truth. The purpose and intention of coming together is to get that faith on the words, because through the faith only one will actually understand that what happiness one can gain through Krishna consciousness. The devotees in this scenario, see, currently we know that Kurukshetra battle was already completed and then Pandavas are victorious. We know the result also. But if we actually are in that particular situation right now, in which Duryodhana is actually speaking these verses, we need to understand that Duryodhana is fully confident that he will win the battlefield. If you see, there is a cricket match. One team is already, the team is actually leading or competing. They are, even though they will lose eventually, but they are very confident enough that they will win. So why am I telling that is, nobody comes to this world to lose. Everyone from their side. For example, if a person is a thief, he thinks that whatever he's doing is good because he has his own reasons and logics. His uh, his awareness his awareness is telling him that that is right. His intention is telling him that is right. For example, if a person is doing a sinful activity, for him it doesn't look like a sinful activity because that is his perspective. For example, a person uh, on the name of religion killing so many people, telling jihad, killing so many people. So for him, that is correct only. Actually, that is also one level of selflessness only, because he's not representing himself. So he's not worried of what's going to happen to him. He's fully convinced that if I do this, I'll go to heaven. That is the whole reason why they do that. So for him, that is right. But if you see the entire world, do they accept that as correct? No, they will not accept that. Now, whoever is doing, they'll put them in the jail. Whoever is actually helping, whoever is actually training those kind of personalities, they'll put them in jail. But for them, that is correct. Here, Duryodhana is actually proclaiming himself that I have so many people around me who actually give, who will actually fight for me. That is true. Actually, there are so many personalities who are actually really wanted to fight for Duryodhana. Now, and a question will come why they are taking the path of adharma. Now, for this, we need to understand another aspect. Let's say, dear devotee, the person got cheated. He did not cheat. He was cheated. That means, somebody, his friend came and then he told him, you do this, you'll get so much. So he did it. But that person who actually did it, it was a problem. Please try to understand this. That means a person who was actually cheated, he generally, if a person will come and tell later, you know what, this person cheated me. Generally, we have the little compassion towards that person, which is okay. I'm not telling we shouldn't be compassionate, but what I'm trying to say is the person who is actually cheated is a reason for that also. Unless and until he has those credits to be cheated, he will never be cheated. Please understand this. That means he did those actions or activities previously. That means person who is actually cheated, he did that act to somebody else in the past. That means technically anything they do, anything which is happening in our life, either good or bad, it is based on our actions and activities which we have done in the past. It doesn't matter. It is bad, this bad, big bad. There's no demarcations like that. A lot of people will I remember Swechana telling about this. That a lot of people used to come to him and then tell him that, this devotee cheated me. Then he immediately says, don't call us devotee. And then if you're cheated, please understand. Uh, that tendency is there in anyone, everyone. There are four things which we need to understand. Making mistakes, cheating propensity, to be illusion, imperfections. Everyone has this. That means these four propensities, everyone has this. Some way, shape, or form, through the science of Krishna consciousness, we are trying to come out of those things. That doesn't mean that we do not have those propensities. We have those propensities to cheat others. So consciously, a sadhaka will always check and then try not to perform those activities. Dear, what is if a person is actually trained in that state? What is the motive behind it? That is also important now. For the terrorist, what is the motive? Or for an Naxalite who are there in India, what is the motive behind that? Some motive. Either might be a personal motive, a group motive, a agenda motive, a religious motive, or a sect motive. Some motive should drive that person. For example, if a person is representing India, is playing cricket or football or kabaddi or whatever, any sport, what is the motive? His motive is to ensure that India wins. That is the whole motive now. For that motive, he works. That means if you see any person in this world, they have something or the other in the background to drive. Actually, this is called as knowledge. Atma, the soul, has this property, this propensity. Mother is actually ensuring that the children are taken care. What is that? Is it not a motive? It is a motive. Why? She wants to ensure that the children are happy. Now that is a selflessness, selfish, that is next. But the first thing is something has to drive. Something has to carry that person. That is exactly here the Duryodhana is being kept in this state, and then he is convinced that all of these personalities are actually working for him. How is he convinced that all of these personalities are working for him? Because he gave them so many things. Because he's not Krishna, na. Devotees, without any, see, devotees, they do not expect. But here these personalities are not devotees because they are on the side of Duryodhana. That means Duryodhana has to give him something, na. Kuch to dena padega, na. Duryodhana has to give some property, some asset, some wealth, some this, some that, some gold, some horses, some dynasties, some area, something he has to give. And not just giving that, he should satisfy that person. That means Duryodhana actually worked a lot on the background. Dear devotees, if a sadhaka, Duryodhana's working in the background is none different than the conditions of working in the background for his family or for his somebody, something else, for his society. So many things. If a politician is working for the society, what is the intention? To earn money. There's no other thing. His belly has to be fully satisfied. Now he should be happy. That doesn't matter what kind of diseases he has. He will ensure that my thing is fulfilled. For that is a motive. Why is he working? Right? A cricketer is working to ensure that India wins. And not just that, his motive that he is also satisfied that he gets the money, this, that, so many other things. If you actually see this exactly, the people who are on the side of Duryodhana, they were pulled by Duryodhana by giving all of the other things. Just like the material nature will pull the jiva if the jiva is trying to become Krishna conscious. Maya is always there, na, dear devotees. Please don't, we shouldn't think that, oh, I've chanted Hare Krishna, no, Maya will not affect. Oh, no, if you chant Hare Krishna, Maya will affect more. Because, yeah, what are you trying to do? You're trying to go away from her. No, she will leave us. No, she will never leave us. Just like Duryodhana, he has so many plans for Karna. He has a unique plan to every person. Who are those personalities? Bhishma, the Ashwadhama, Somadita is the son of Somadatta. Vikarana. For all these personalities, he has a plan. He is an individual plan. It's not easy, dear devotees, to have that kind of. See, he is trying to lead. What is he trying to lead? He's trying to lead the dynasty. No, leading the dynasty means he should be the center. Being the center without Krishna being the center, it's not easy. Please understand this. It's very important. If a person is trying to become center, actually devotee never becomes center. But he's not devotee, na. He doesn't want to, because he doesn't want to hear those things. That, oh, Krishna is a supreme, he's almighty, he's all powerful, he's all attractive. This is exactly same thing. The entire world is, they don't want to hear this. They don't want to understand this. They don't want to take that shelter because they are convinced in some way, shape, or form that they are the center. Now, who is not convinced here about this? If a person is earning 250K, is he not convinced that he is the center? That he's controlling everything? Exactly, he's convinced about it. The moment he's convinced about it, then he's actually leading his family. He's actually taking care of his wife. He's actually taking care of his children. He's ensuring that children goes to SAT, this, that, those examination, this examiner. What is all of these things? He is already convinced that he's center. He is actually giving the same thing, same consciousness to his children. That means eventually the children will actually follow the father or the parents. Whatever parents are doing, children will actually follow. Dear devotees, materialism, children will easily follow. Spirituality is difficult to follow. If parents are very sincere, there is no guarantee that children will take the process of Krishna consciousness. But on a material side, if the parents are teaching very nicely how to become material person, oh, he will do great. Perfect. He'll become a perfect engineer, perfect doctor, perfectly earning, and then perfectly spending, perfectly having the plan for his life 20, 30, 40 years. Everything is perfectly arranged. Why? Because he took the training now. Because those qualities are already there. Exactly. The personalities who are there on the side of Duryodhana, they have those mentalities in their heart. That's why they are attracted to Duryodhana. Because the mentality is there. Na? They do it. Please understand. Why material nature easily pulls the sadhaka from Krishna consciousness? Because the mentality is there. When she gives something, he will immediately accept it. The mentality. Because Lord, Lord wants us to come voluntarily. That is his love. Now, please understand. To the point Subal Prabhu was mentioning, right, few days back. Oh, is that karma? Is that envy there in the spiritual? No, no. Spiritual world there is no envy. Spiritual world there is no lust, greed, anger, envy, fortune. These are unwanted things. They only stay in the material world. They don't come in the spiritual world. Then how did we left us? How did we left the Lord? If we do not have that, it is based on our desires. We felt that I want to spend some time. Not even not even having any sinful tendencies or not even having any bad qualities in the heart, just want to spend some time away from the Lord and his devotees. I do. Thoda there. Let's spend some time. Then for that desire, Lord created this entire creation. Please understand this, dear devotees. He is not an ordinary personality. The Lord is very he's very independent, and then he doesn't interfere in our independence. Please understand that. For example, if a person wants to suffer in the sense if a person wants to enjoy in this world, there's all please put this in the heart. If a person wants to enjoy in this world, please understand there is a serious suffering behind that. Person wants to enjoy material in this world, there is a seed of suffering behind it. For sure. No doubt about it. I've experienced so many times. Through devotees, through myself. If I desire to enjoy in separation of the Lord, there is a seed of suffering behind it. That means a karmic reaction will actually come. The devotees, what happens is through that enjoyment, we don't actually realize what kind of suffering is coming to us. And we just generally tell this statement, oh, by karma I'm coming. It is coming. Okay, that is very entry level. We need to know more why this is coming. Why the Lord has created this creation in such a way that if I do certain activity, I get a reaction. Why? Why is it like that? Then we see the love of that person. Because he wanted to teach us its beautiful lesson. But the problem is, if the sadhaka is not thinking on a subtle level, he will never perceive that. Oh, this is a problem which is coming to me, and then through this I have to learn. But what happens is through that problem, he is actually complaining on the other person. It's a problem only. Just like Duryodhana, what is he doing? He's actually complaining on Dronacharya. Oh, why did you train them? Drishtadyumna is on the Pandava side. Why did you train them? Because what is he doing exactly? He's not actually trying to see, he's not trying to see internally, but what rather he's trying to see externally. That means udhar kya ho raha, idhar kya ho raha. Problem aa raha hai. He's understanding because why? It's a problem. Na? Anxiety is what? Is it not a problem? Anxiety in the heart, is it not a problem? It is problem. What are the causes of anxiety? Do you know what is? Let us jog down. What are the causes of anxiety? If a person loses money, anxiety. If a person has bad relationship, anxiety. If a person's officer or the manager is not working, or is not supporting, is not cooperating, anxiety. Children are not doing as expected to the parents' anxiety. If we actually see all of these things, they're leading anxiety. They're cause for the anxiety. Exactly what Duryodhana was actually seeing, because seeing the Pandavas, he felt that they're very strong. That's why he actually expressed that anxiety to Duryodhana, to Dronacharya. Duryodhana expressed that anxiety to Dronacharya, stating that, oh, this is not right. Because what did you do? You trained that person, now that person is against us. You shouldn't have trained him. That means the cause of anxiety is leading to what? He's is actually telling us to go away from dharma. Please understand this. Dharma is very beautiful, but the anxiety is coming. We don't want to follow even dharma. A lot of people will tell you, oh, you don't practice Krishna consciousness. If you practice Krishna consciousness, problems will come. Because Krishna is telling in Gita, when if a person comes to me and surrenders to me, I will give them problem. Oh, Krishna is giving problems. I don't want to surrender. I don't want to accept this process. I don't want to take this process. That means I'm not in a position to accept that. Why? Because the problem will come. So this anxiety which she is expressing, is it not the anxiety which we see in this world? But now when we jot down those anxieties, are they really anxiety in the end about this? For example, the relationship problem. Do you think the relationship problem will always be like that? If you sort it out, won't that be sorted off? For example, let's say the relationship is problem is continuing. For how much time it will continue? Let's say it is continuing lifelong. But this life is itself is temporary. Life itself is temporary. If the life is temporary, what to speak of these problems in this world? They are also deemed temporary. That means we are seeing only through this perception. You don't see the bigger picture. An example, I'll tell a simple layman example so that we all can understand. Let's see the gold prices. The gold prices were high. Now they are falling. If a person has a bigger picture, he will not be worried. But if a person doesn't have a bigger picture, oh, it's falling, 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 falling. Let me sell, let me sell. What is this? Anxiety. Because what is he doing? He's not perceiving the longer picture. He's just perceiving the short picture. He's only seeing now. He's not seeing the future. Is this how this material world is designed? Exactly this is how this material world is designed. For example, if you have a disease, this body means disease will come. But if a person doesn't understand that, what does he do? Anxiety. Through that anxiety, what he'll complain on his wife or on his children or on that or somebody else or on the manager. Some way, shape, or form. Why? Because he's in anxiety, just like Duryodhana is complaining. Because the source of the anxiety, the root source is nobody's seeing the root source. Oh, what is this gold? Is it just a metal? Oh, why are we so worried about that? People are in so much anxiety. Why? More money. If the money is losing, anxiety. The money is gaining, little happiness. That's also it's a it's a replacement of anxiety. That the anxiety is not there. That itself they're thinking that it is happiness. Please understand this. People in the world, there is no anxiety. That itself they're thinking that that is happiness. For example, if the boss is nice, that itself they're thinking that that is the happiness. For example, wife is feeding very nicely. That itself is thinking that oh, that is happiness. There are no relationship problems. That itself is thinking that is happiness. Because every person has so many problems in this world. Through that problems, anxieties are coming. When that anxiety is removed, when the anxiety is not there, that is the so-called happiness. That's why our Acharya says it is so-called happiness. It is not happiness. That means happiness in an illusory state. No, all these personalities who actually came for Duryodhana, well, you know why they came? Happiness. What kind of happiness? Through some material means. Or you give me that, I'll fight for you. Or you give me that property, I'll fight for you. And Duryodhana is actually doing that. To- Dear devotees, if we actually closely observe this, is this not a pain, dear devotees? Like you have to pull so many people, you have to feed them, you have to ensure that they are happy. If they're not happy, they will go away. Is this not a problem, dear devotees? Is this not exactly what is happening in this material world? We tell our wife, we tell our children, this, that, do this, do that. They don't do it. If we fall prey to the anxiety, then what do we do? That's why, dear devotees, we should develop a deeper relationship. No doubt this is temporary. No, 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 but still you should have good relationship with everyone. That's why for that to happen, we need to develop deep relationship with Guru Sadhu Shastra, with the Lord. When a person has deep relationship with the Lord, then he's not falling prey to that. Then he's not envious to that. He understands, oh, this is how the nature is. This is how this world is designed. Oh, all these personalities are going to Duryodhana. Why? Because of some material benefit. No, I shouldn't go to the material nature because of this material benefit. Rather, I should make a turn and then go towards the Lord to cultivate that spiritual consciousness, that spiritual upliftment, that spiritual satisfaction, rejuvenation in the heart. Now that has to come. Otherwise, what is this? What is this anxiety is doing? Anxiety is doing problem after problem, trouble after trouble. What is this depression? Why the depression comes? I always think about this. Why? What is the reason? A lot of people will tell the depression. But I don't see devotees depressed. Because devotees do not dwell on this material plane. One time, my spiritual masters, God brother, they both discussed, and then he shared us in class notes. As God brother, they both were discussing. He said he was there. I think they were discussing. Yes, they were discussing about money. Money? It's only paper na. You can have, I can have. What's the problem? For example, if I want something, don't you give me? Or if you want something, don't I give you? What is more important among us? Relationship is more important, not money. It's just a paper. I said, wow, this is beautiful. This is a consciousness, na? We should cultivate. It's just a paper, na? At paper, sometimes the value increases. Oh, sometimes dollar. When I first came to US, dollar was 45, 44 or something like that. I remember. And then it decreased to 38. And then after that it increased. Now it is 90. What is it? At one moment, 1 rupee was different, but now 1 rupee is different. $1 value was different. Now the value is different. What is this? What is this change of currency? It's just a paper, right? Does it have any feeling? Does it have any relationship? No. Does it have anything in that? 1 second. Mm. So those things have to be addressed. It's just a paper. But that a paper is giving so much anxiety. Please understand. That means something which is not, that will only give problems. Please understand. Always remember this. Whatever you are supposed to get, you will get it, no matter what happens to you. Because when you came into this world, you're destined with certain things. For example, if you're destined to get married, you'll get married. If you're destined to have children, you'll have children. If you're destined to have money, you'll have money. If you're destined to lose that relationship, it will be gone. Even though how much you hold it, it will be gone. That means everything is actually being dovetailed like that. Just like Chitraketu Maharaj, he could never recognize that presence, that this is my destiny, he could never understand that. That's why he couldn't understand that, right? Due to that reason, he was lamenting. This is the reason of this lamentation. But if he would have understood that whatever is there, it is the arrangement of the Lord, then the person will uh, will be free from anxieties. Please understand. Such as, if we are convinced that we are supposed to get this much, means it's already been given, it's already been destined. You remember I shared that past time once. An expert spiritual master has a son and a daughter, and he left. And his disciple is by the mercy of the spiritual master, he is also expert in dealing with the devotees. So he understands that these personalities are destined to have certain things. Then he used that as a source and then trying to do services based on it. For example, if a person always has a cow, then he says that you sell the cow, and after selling the cow, whatever money you get, you distribute prasad. That's what he was doing. And next day again cow was coming. Next day again cow was coming because he was destined to that. Every day he was doing that same thing. That means what is happening? The devotional service is doing. That means all is prarabdha, all those karmic reactions are gone. And when come back to Godhead, just through that one aspect. But until that point of time, he was very dethroned. He was in so much anxiety. But after that association, after that advice, there's no anxiety in his life. But what are all these anxieties? You know, what is it? It's all the anxieties. It's in an illusory state. It doesn't have any value. There's no existence. But the people in this world, they're illusioned in such a way that these illusory things are the source of enjoyment for them. Because all these illusory things, when they become source of enjoyment, that itself is a cause of problem. Because it has no existence now. It has no existence, it has no sustenance. So that's why it's a problem. That's why when we actually meditate on these things, what happens? That problem will come to us. Because that is the source. So these things have to be addressed always. Duryodhana, why is he doing this? For its property. What is the source for that? It's temporary thing. That means, what is that? It's a material aspect. That means if a person is actually working on a material aspect, which doesn't have any existence, will that give any satisfaction? Not just for Duryodhana, it doesn't give satisfaction to any person. That means, oh no, 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 we are getting some satisfaction. That itself, that is also illusion. It's a temporary satisfaction. No, all the satisfaction in this world through this matter, what is that? What kind of satisfaction is that? It's a temporary thing, na? You get some relief. That means you are free from anxiety. That itself is happiness. Now, all the personalities who actually came for to fight for Duryodhana. Why? Why are they fighting for Duryodhana? Satisfaction, happiness. What kind of happiness? They're getting something out of it. Is this not this entire world is designed like this? That means through this shloka, we can understand the nature of this entire world. We are actually understanding. Anyacha bhavasura madarte tak jivitaha nana shastra praharana sarva yudhya visharadaha. There are many other heroes who are prepared to lay down their life for myself. Why are they laying down their life for their sake? Is it not? Is this a relationship? No, it is also through relationship, but what kind of relationship is that? But relationship is on a material plane. It's not on a spiritual plane. Just like Arjuna is also laying his life. Arjuna is laying his life. The representatives who are there under Duryodhana, they are laying their life is totally different. Because Arjuna is laying for the root, Krishna, for his happiness. All these personalities are laying their life for a person who is itself is temporary. What to speak of things he gives. They know what if a person is temporary, whatever he gives, is it not temporary? Exactly, it is temporary. But the acharyas, what they give us, that's eternal. That's why we worship them. Yasya prasadat, Bhagavat prasada, because what they do, they open up our consciousness. They give us the real shelter. Otherwise, we are completely in illusory state, Maya. That which is not. Maya means what? That which is not. Completely it will keep us in illusory state. It will tell. I'm remembering this example of Srila Prabhupada. When Srila Prabhupada was in Vrindavan, his disciples were all sitting around him. And then now also in villages we see, in small towns we see, not in the big cities. When an ice cream person is coming, he has a bell. That bell rings. Ting, 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 ting. He plays that bell. Prabhupada says, what's that? Prabhupada, that is ice cream. And Prabhupada immediately said, that's Maya. It's calling through the bell. Come, come, come. It's ringing the bell. Come and eat. Enjoy, enjoy. Prabhupada says, that is Maya. Likewise, he says, not just that, Maya pulls us in so many ways in this world. We should be very careful how the material nature is pulling us. That's why sadhaka should always be checked. We should always do anything for the pleasure of Guru and Krishna, nothing else. Everything he has to do for their pleasure only. When he begins doing that, then this material pulls will not be affected. But these personalities are not in that state. And also, Scripture says, whoever died in front of the Lord, they all achieved liberation. It's not they didn't go to Goloka. Please understand this here. Now, whoever has relationship with the Lord, only they go to Goloka, not others. They'll get impersonal liberation because they died in front of the Lord. What is the qualification? There's no qualification because they just died in front of the Lord. They do not have any qualities. They do not aspire to go to Goloka. That is a prominent thing. Now, whoever doesn't have that aspiration, he will not remember that. For example, if a person doesn't want money, do you think he'll think about money? He will not think about money. It's not required for him. He's self-satisfied. Things are coming, things are happening, move on. Just like Mrugari was being asked this question, oh, Narada Muni, you are telling me to sit and chant Hare Krishna, or sit and chant the names of the Lord, do Shravana Kirtana, that's it. Then who will feed me? Narada Muni said, you just do that, things will come. He just did that. And all the villagers, they started feeding him, giving prasad, fruits, so many other things. So it depends on the conviction of the person. It depends on his faith. It depends on his understanding, on his relationship with the spiritual master. So all these things do matter a lot. Because if a person, for example, if a person is actually doing certain things in his life, there's always a risk. Don't we have risk? For example, you're doing so. Let's say you're going you're driving on the road. You're driving very nicely the car. Don't we have a risk of getting an accident? Yes, we have a risk of getting an accident, but we are driving carefully. That means if a careful driver, the risk is a little less. If a person is drunk and he is driving, what is the risk of getting an accident? A lot. The risk is more. Same person, na? One day he was not drinking. He is just driving. The risk is less to get an accident because he's a driver. He's been driving since 20 years. But the same person is drunk now. He's fully drunk. He's sleeping. Then he is driving. What kind of risk is that? High risk. And that too in the night. The visibility is reduced. It's a risk, na? That means person is same. The situation is different. Likewise, did what is we can practice Krishna consciousness, but the levels are different. Our approach is different. Our taking the truth is different. Accepting the words of acharyas are different. Our progress depends on how we accept the truth, how we perceive the truth, how much are we following it, how much are we applying, how much are we doing it in our life. That's where the progress resides. For example, in the class, the student is hearing about how to make an experiment, to make an experiment in the chemistry lab. He's reading the theory, but he never practiced in practical. He never practiced in practicals. When he was about to do the exam, the practical exam, will he get good results? He will not get good results because he only has theory understanding. Because he never kept in action. That means keeping in action is what matters. Now the drunkard who's actually drinking, he's thinking that he'll be elevated. He's thinking that he's satisfied, that there will not be any accident to him. But no, he has a more chance of getting an accident. It's like Duryodhana, here is convinced that he's convinced that there is no problem. Please understand. He's convinced, he writes another statement also. All of them are well equipped with different kinds of weapons and all are experienced in military science. And Prabhupada is actually writing in the purport that Duryodhana is actually convinced that he will win the battle. Now, how is it Prabhupada knowing that Duryodhana is convinced that he's winning the battle? By the statement, by this, because Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada can actually understand what's happening in his heart. Now, by his mercy, we can also understand. This is called as Guru Kripa. Their mercy will descend to us. The spiritual master will give that mercy. Through their mercy, we will be able to understand the truth. Now, how is that Duryodhana is convinced in such a way that he will win the battle? Through the statement. He is very clearly expressing his heart that, yes, I have all these personalities. This personality will give me victory. Shloka number 8, Shloka number 9 is clearly revealing the heart, and then Srila Prabhupada confirming this again. Now, just like a drunkard, he is convinced that he will go to the home safely. He's convinced, nah, because he drinks so many times. But what is the risk of getting an accident? 90% or 95% or 100%. And one day there will be an accident and he might lose his life. And Duryodhana was not anticipating that that will happen to him. But as of now, the battle has not yet begun. So Duryodhana is convinced with his heart, in his heart, that he'll be victorious. No, not just this statement, even the next statements, the later statements also shows that he's convinced. And then even through that conviction, dear devotees, you know how the conviction in this material world resides? We need to understand that. Duryodhana is convinced now here that he will be victorious. After a few shlokas, when the Lord blows the conch shell, he is in a fearful state. Not just that, this conviction, this fear is always there in his heart because there is no base. Na? In the conditioned state, there is no base, there is no dependency, there is no accepting of this truth. That's why this through that conditioning, what happens? Confidence comes, fear comes. Again, confidence comes, again, fear comes. This exactly is happening in the heart of Duryodhana. Now he is confident that he'll be victorious. Later on, after a few shlokas, he'll be distressed. Not just here, even in the prior shlokas also, he was fearful. The first conversation with Duryodhana, he was in a fearful state. After few shlokas, he is in a confident state. Again fearful state, again confident state. What is this? Dvandva. That's why our acharyas tell that if you follow my words, if you follow my instruction, you'll be free from this dvandva, dualities of this world. Matra sparsasya kauntaya sita ushna sukha dukkada. Agamam paino manitya. Why the devotees are happy? Because they're free from these dualities. Now, who kept to free? Who removed dualities from their life? Is the spiritual master. It is their mercy. They are removed. It is their life, seeing their life, following their words, following in their footsteps. By doing anusmarana, not anukarana. We don't want to imitate anyone. What to speak of spiritual master? He was the representative of the Lord. How can we imitate him? We cannot imitate him. What do? We follow him. The moment we follow, what happens? Guru Kripa, the mercy will flow. What happens through that mercy? Divya Jnana Hridaya Prakashita. Then the transcendental understanding will come and then it will reveal your heart. It will change your heart. It will change your consciousness totally. We don't want to be like this. We don't. Just by reading this, I'm trying to understand. Why is this person taking so much anxiety in his life? It's not required. He would have just surrendered to the Lord. Lord would have given him so much property. He would have just accepted because that is the property of the Lord. He would have just accepted it and then lead his life very simply and practice Krishna consciousness. Go back home, back to heart, rather than dying like cats and dogs. What is this anxiety? Why? I always think about this. Why? Why Duryodhana is pulling so many people? He could have just submitted to the Lord. Would have been an easy way. Why Hiranyakashipu did so much tapasya? He would have said, "Oh my dear Lord, I don't know what's happening. You please tell me." That's it. There ends the matter. Momentary change in our consciousness is we are actually saved from millions of lifetime devotees. When we follow the words of the Acharya, we don't know, dear devotees, how many lives we are saving. Millions of lifetimes we have to take if the Acharya is not there in our life. We don't have his instructions. We don't follow his words. We have to take millions of lifetimes actually. Because what are we are in which state we are? We are in the state of punya. All the Indians they fall under this category. Well, most of them, they're, especially in America, there are very few people they do impious things, but most of them are in a pious state. They understand, they believe God, they don't commit any mistakes from their side. At least they are trying to follow whatever little dharma, whatever they understood from their parents, from their upbringing, they are doing that. But this process will take millions of lifetimes to go back and back to Godhead. Because this process, what we are actually doing, what we are actually following, it will take a lot of time to go back and back to Godhead. But when we follow the words of the Acharyas in this very lifetime, that means what are we saved from millions of lifetimes? After this, if you are pious, you'll go to heavenly planets. You'll enjoy. There is Indra, uh, his associates, you'll happily spend there thousands of years and then again come back. Again continue, get the human birth. Again do continue the activities. Again become impious, go to hell, suffer, come again. Take the body of animal because you committed sinful activity, na? Now sinful activity comes, what happens? Person will go to hell, and then after that he comes back. Again he'll take the body of animals, and then slowly, slowly his consciousness has to be elevated again. That means the Lord is actually putting that person because the person has to learn something through that. And this is a process which Shiva Prabhupada is giving us is a Rajamarga, is a Rajamarga. What is this Rajamarga? Rajamarga means the path for the kings. This is what Shiva Prabhupada is giving us. Rajavidya, Rajabijam, Pavitram Idam Pratyakshagamam Susukam Kartuma. Krishna is personally telling, Hare, this is Rajavidya. You just follow. How do we follow? You follow the words of my devotee. Because my devotee carries me always in his heart. Whatever he speaks, it's a fact. This we need to understand. Then we understand this. Oh, our life, we don't have to do so many calculations. We don't have to say, oh, let me do this, let me do that. No, no calculation. Whatever Srila Prabhupada, whatever our spiritual master is telling, if we just do that, just like that South Indian Brahmana, you know what he did? You know what is? He has no understanding of any of these things. But his spiritual master told me, you read Bhagavad Gita every day. He doesn't even know how to study also. He's he's not a literate person. Materially he is illiterate. But spiritually he has a deep faith in the words of his spiritual master. And then he just repeated. We just watching. Tears are coming. And Lord Chaitanya came, and then he saw this person and this person, and then started asking, "Oh, what happened to you, Baba? Why are you crying?" You see, my spiritual master told me to read this book, but I do not have any intelligence. I do not understand anything in this. But then, okay, if you do not understand, then why are you crying? Then he started telling, you see, Krishna is a great person, the supreme personality of Godhead. Eti Cham Sakalabhumsam Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam is a Bhagavan. He has fully 64 qualities in full. Nobody has 64 qualities in full. Krishna only has 64 qualities. That's why he's a root for that. And he says that this person with so many qualities, that too in full, and that person became a charioteer. Oh, just by seeing that tears are coming from him. So what kind of person is he? But he's giving up so many things just to please a devotee. Because what kind of relationship he has with his devotee? Wow. Just by seeing the tears are coming. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embraced him. Are you got the essence of everything. You got what Krishna Bhakti is. You attained it. He embraced him. And then he said, "You are the authority to speak Bhagavad Gita." Hare Krishna. What did he do? He just followed the words of his spiritual master. Mercy will come. This is perfect, dear devotees. There is no problem, no question to this. You cannot put any question to this. Perfect. This is perfect. My spiritual master told, let me do it. Perfect. Having that kind of relationship with those personalities, oh, is a benediction actually. I know so many devotees in our community. In our community, in our Ongol community, so many devotees are there. They are, they have, they have become perfectionists in practicing Krishna consciousness. 25 years are dedicated to that person. They just do what he says. Amazing. And then life is very beautiful. Because through that person only surrender came, through that person only pure devotion came, through that person only they got realizations. They realized who the Lord is, they realized who Srila Prabhupada, they realized who Krishna is. What's more is required, dear devotees. They do not hanker anything for this world. They do not run behind sex life. They do not run behind money. They do not run behind anything of this world. And not just that, they want to serve the Acharya. They want to serve the spiritual master life after life. What is this? It's a beauty. How is it all coming? Shravana. Now, what is that Shravana? Hearing and relationship. Getting the essence, they're understanding everything. But here, if you see, why all these personalities came? Not that they have deep love with Duryodhana. Duryodhana gave money. Duryodhana gave opposite sex. Duryodhana gave so many things. Whatever they aspire for in this world, what do they aspire, dear devotees, in this world? Dana, Jana, Sundari. What's more we have in this world? Futile world. Doesn't have any substance other than that. What is this entire stock market? The entire stock market is on money. Na Prabhupada said, don't touch that. It is not our business. What is this? All this Dana, Jana. What is this? It's a market. It's a gamble. Prabhupada says, don't go. Dana, Jana, Sundari. That's not the aspiration. But all these personalities are coming to Duryodhana because Duryodhana was giving them all these things. Because that is what they desire. Did they come to Duryodhana for pure devotional service? No, they didn't come to Duryodhana for pure devotion. Because Duryodhana is not the source for pure devotion. They should have gone to Pandavas for pure devotion. They came to Kauravas because they don't like that. Now, so many other people, some people they came to Duryodhana because they have envy towards Pandavas. Please understand. This is another important aspect. If a person has envy towards one person, then they'll go to the other person who also has envy to the same person so that they both come together and then they pull him down. That's what exactly happened. Dear devotees, I'll tell something in the circle of a devotee. You know, if two mindsets are same, let's say they have enmity or the enviousness is actually prevalent in the heart, then the both people, if both have that envy, they become friends. That's quite natural. There's no rocket science behind it. If they both have those qualities, then they become envious. For example, if they do not have a relationship with the Shiksha Guru, then what happens if the Shiksha Guru is telling some big words? They become envious to that person also. Because he's teaching all of these things, he's telling that I should give up this, I should give up this, will be envious to him. Now, if the person is becoming envious to that person, who is at fault? Is the person at the fault? Person is just speaking the truth. The person who is hearing is at fault because he never understood. That means he never heard the truth in the right way. That means he never gave the time to understand the science of Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna. I'll stop here. If I go, if we continue, I'll stop. Anyone has any questions? Would like to add anything? It's very important, dear devotees, the discussion which we discussed. We need to see how the material nature is running, how it is driving. This sloka is an example for that. Exactly. Because they're all coming to Duryodhana because Dana Jana. That's it. Or Sundari. Whatever they want. When somebody comes, would come to him out of envy to the other person, to the Pandavas. Karna is the example for that. Why Karna came to Duryodhana? Because he was envious towards Pandavas. He wants to kill Pandavas. No, Bhishma Dev, why he came? As the arrangement of the Lord. He wants to please the Lord in this way. There's a reason for that. Because he has a Veera Rasa. He want to fight with the Lord. If he's with the Pandavas, how will he fight with Krishna? No, he has to be on the opposite side to fight with the Lord. Because he has to, yes, his reciprocation should also be there na, in this world. Hare Krishna. Everything is a beautiful arrangement based on their desires, dear devotees. You know how this body also came? Based on our desire. We evolved slowly, 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 from one jiva to the other, one body to the other, one body to the other, and then we learned so many things, and then finally we came here. This should be our launch pad to go back to our dead, not to degrade again ourselves into another body or lower bodies. Hare Krishna. Stop. Okay. Anyone would like to add anything? From Srila Prabhu, Madhva Krishna Prabhu, Subal Prabhu. Like to add anything? Like to share? Hare.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances, Prabhu. Always
Hare
to
Krishna.
speak. Prabhu, beautiful class, Prabhu. Beautiful topic on how to see the shloka. Very first time I'm hearing in a different perspective, or the original perspective, never heard in the past. So I have to take away, have to check if somebody is coming to me, then which perspective actually are they? Just it will be understood, right, Prabhu? Easily understood
When you
on the
hear
way that
nicely,
they talk.
when you hear nicely, you can understand everything. You'll understand all the logic which they are speaking. If they are glorifying
Yeah.
us, you should be careful. If a person is glorifying us, we should be careful. He might be asking something from us. Nobody does anything for free here. This is material world. You see anything in this world. They don't see anything. If a person is coming and telling us to can you do this insurance policy because he'll get commission. Another person will come, can you do this mutual fund because he'll get another commission. Nobody does anything for free. Only a Vaishnava will do anything. Yeah, only a Vaishnava will do on a selfless man. Nobody else will do on a selfless man. Everyone is asking something out there. Kussa dena, kussa dena, kussa dena, because that is our jiva, jiva se jivana. That means one person's life is another person's enjoyment. Jiva jivasya. Tiger eats who? Deer. That means jiva. That jiva is the jivasya for the tiger. Now in the human being, they don't eat the other human being. Then how do they live? Because they are in the society now. How do they live? Like this. By pulling them down, by getting some happiness, some mere happiness, through sense gratification, through some money, pulling him through some other way. This is how this world is designed. That's why we should be very careful. I remember spiritual master telling, if you are really sincere, you can really understand what's happening everywhere. You'll understand how this Maya is working, how this material world is working. You understand everything. And then when we are understanding, we'll remember that person. अरे वो प्रभु ने दिया है मुझे. He gave me that. Now let me do some service to him. That's how the service factor will come from the heart. Now, how is it Arjuna wants to serve Krishna? Because Krishna helped him. Na? Now he's doing a reciprocation. Then we understand Srila Prabhupada and his followers, they're helping us. What do? We reciprocate. How do we reciprocate? We reciprocate in the way they say us, not in our own individual way. That's also impersonalism. In the way what they say. Do this, let's do this. Do that, let's do that. Because what is happening, this submissiveness is actually greatest weapon to come out of this material nature. That means the sadhaka will come from material energy to the internal energy. So what is he doing? He's becoming submissive. But do you see Duryodhana submissive? Do you see his follower? This is interesting. I'll tell you something interesting. Hare, Duryodhana is not submissive. Na? Do you think his followers are submissive? Hare Krishna. His followers are never submissive to him because he is not submissive. This is a key. Srila Prabhupada is very submissive to his spiritual master. That's why his disciples are very submissive to Srila Prabhupada. That's the key. That's the secret. It depends on the person. The truth is also understood based on the person, not through anything else. Otherwise, they read about what do we understand in this sloka? We discussed this for 1 hour. Prabhupada wrote like a couple of lines here. What do we understand through this? It's a mercy. Otherwise, how can we understand this? हाँ वो लोग इधर से उधर आया. These personalities came from here to there. This person came from here to here. What do we understand from this? So this has to be gifted to us. Divya Gyan Hridaya Prakashita. If we are submissive to Srila Prabhupada, to his sincere followers, and then we follow their words as is, your progress will be very rapid. I'll guarantee. Very rapid. You'll run in Krishna consciousness. You'll never see faults with others. You'll be happy. You're satisfied in your heart. Atmara. You'll come to that state, Atmara. And then surrender will naturally follow you. But for this, we should become sincere. You see, just think about this after the class. The personalities who came to Duryodhana, Karna, or so many other personalities, what is the reason behind it? Are they pleasing Duryodhana? No, they have personal motives. This is exact reason why we are in this world. We have personal motives. We should become free from that. That is why if a person practices Krishna consciousness through personal motives, also he will not understand what the science is. What this science is, they will not understand. Because the Haituki Aprayita is not manifested, na? Why Turki Aprayita is not manifested? What do we understand? We understand. We know nothing. We'll just tell namesake 20 years have been practicing, 30 years have been practicing. But we'll never be free from all these things. Still we carry life insurance, that insurance, this, do that, so many other things, unwanted things. Hare Krishna. Sorry, Amma, please tell.
No, Prabhuji, you beautifully explain. What to speak of others who are coming to me? If I am going to someone to talk or to discuss something, then I have to check whether I'm actually going for the spiritual benefit or actually just
Yeah,
for talking
our
to
only discussion, our only relationship is to ensure that we are advancing for advancement in Krishna consciousness, only our relationship should be there.
yes,
If you are
Prabhuji.
speaking to somebody, you should benefit that him, you should benefit us. That's it. No other business. Because we do not have time, we don't know how many days we will live. Do we know how many days we will live? Do we know that we will live until 50 years or 60 years? No guarantee. That means today we should cultivate that consciousness. What Arjuna cultivated, we should cultivate that. That means by completing chapter 1, we should understand everything. What is the heart of Arjuna? What is the heart of Duryodhana? How Duryodhana will react? How Arjuna is reacting? And then how are these qualities affecting me? How are Duryodhana's qualities sitting in my heart? Now, how to come out of that? We should actually pursue, we should actually go within the heart and then see those things. Now, how do we go within and then see those things? Our reactions to the people in this world. You know how we are reacting? That is what we are actually. For example, after this class, your wife said something. You immediately reacted. I saw it here. That is what we are. That means immediately this thing is coming. That's what we are. We need to understand that. That means we are not taking this Krishna consciousness to the next step. It's very important. That's why practically we should take this science. I know it's easy to
So,
tell, difficult to
yes,
follow. We should follow. Yes, Sham, please tell.
no, no, Prabhu, please. I'm sorry I disturbed you. I was
It's
just saying thank you. Thank you so very much, Prabhu. Uh, can't thank enough. Thank you. So all glories to all the acharyas. Glories to you for your time and energy, going deep and explaining. We always hear, I always hear that Bhagavad Gita is a transformation. It's a way of life, leading life. But how? Only when we hear from a devotee who's actually following, sincerely following, who is sincerely serving the spiritual master, sincerely following the spiritual master. Thank you so very much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare. Yes, Subal Prabhu, you're saying something.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji. Similar thing what Mataji mentioned. Yeah, amazing, Prabhuji. Especially in this, day and age, we are, in this material world, we are still with all this, insecurities. That's why to take that insurance, this insurance and all. But of course, in this material life, it's mandatory. But yeah, but we have to start depending more on Krishna rather than on these insecurities, Prabhuji. And as you rightly mentioned, while we are hearing, in the morning, we are in this mood, but slowly, once we start our work, slowly, the mood gets changed and we engrossed in this material work. But as you mentioned, regularly we have to hear and yeah, thank you so much, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. We should also cultivate this desire. Oh, my dear Lord, my dear Srila Prabhupada, my dear beloved spiritual master, please give me an opportunity so that I can practice this science of Krishna consciousness sincerely, so that I can serve you nicely, so that I can be of some service to you. We should have these aspirations. When we have this aspiration, that's okay. Even if we have insurance, that's okay. You know, we are in a country where all those things are required. But our mentality will be changed. Slowly, we will strive to come to that plane of pure devotion. And please understand, dear devotees, I request you again and again. Happiness comes only through pure devotion. Relationship develops only through that. I remember one time spiritual master telling us, he told us beautifully that uh, I'm not, I don't love you or I don't serve you because you're doing me a service, or I don't pray for you because you have done me some service. I do it irrespective of the situation. Whether you do or not do, whether you accept the truth or not accept the truth, whether you are following my words, whether you are not following my words, whether you are hearing or not hearing, whether you are agreeing or not agreeing, doesn't matter. Irrespective of the situation you came to me, that's it. That itself is the indication that I'm gonna take care of you. This is a Haituki. Haituki Apriyata is this. Srila Prabhupada, when those personalities came, no understanding of what this Gita is. Those personalities, they were like, Srila Prabhupada loved them so much to the core of his heart. Hare Krishna. Haituki Apriyata. Because that is what Krishna does. That is what these personalities are doing. Their life is in him. So the more we hear, the more we connect, our life will also be transformed in that way. You should aspire for that. Cultivate that desire. You should cultivate that desire. Please, my dear Lord, please help. Really want to have that desire. Then Lord will manifest. Lord will ensure that those things will be revealed. Hare Krishna. Anything else? Yeah. Thank you all very much. Shila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.